Wine connoisseurs are in for a treat. South Africa has been announced as the host country for the biggest annual international Sauvignon Blanc competition.
Well, it is the 2023 Concours Mondial du Sauvignon Blanc, which will take place in Franschhoek in the Cape Winelands. So for more on this prestigious event, we're joined now by RJ Botha from Sauvignon Blanc South Africa. RJ, thank you so much for your time this morning. But first of all, maybe you should educate us. How significant is it for South Africa to actually be hosting this event?
Good morning, Faith. Sure, yeah. Where do we start? It is an amazing accomplishment for South Africa. We started working on this project about 3 years ago, and I am the chairman of Sauvignon Blanc South Africa. And our sole purpose is to promote Sauvignon Blanc from South Africa to the world, and also to try and make Sauvignon better in our own country. We looked at various options, and Concours Mondial du Sauvignon is the pinnacle of competitions for Sauvignon Blanc. It is an international competition that is solely focused on this wonderful grape variety. Sauvignon Blanc being a massive part of the South African wine industry, being the best-selling wine cultivar in price-wise and also in volume-wise. It plays a massive part in our industry, and this prestigious competition is the pinnacle of all. Our whole concept is that Sauvignon Blanc is only the vessel to host this wonderful competition, but the idea is that we are trying to promote South Africa as a country. Trying to promote South Africa as a wine-producing country. So we will host them in our wonderful country, as you mentioned, in Franschhoek, and we will show them the rest of Cape Town and the Western Cape over the course of the 4 days that they will be here next year in March.
RJ, just how good are we as a country in our production of Sauvignon Blanc? I mean, I'm sure the world knows that if they want to get some good wine, they can too come to South Africa, and they don't only have to go to France. But just how good are we?
We are exceptional, and I must. I'm sitting in the middle of France, so I must also be careful of what I say. But no, you know what? We probably make some of the best wines in the world. South Africa has got a very unique style of Sauvignon Blanc, and the world is noticing what we are doing. People are enjoying South African Sauvignon Blanc much more and more every day, and we can see that in the sales, and the prices that we are getting for our wine. South Africa, we are very fortunate that, as diverse as the country is, so diverse our winemaking portfolio is, and we can make a lot of different styles, and that is what makes us really, really unique. We make different styles of Sauvignon Blanc, from the fresh and fruity wines through to more herbaceous wines, to barrel fermented wines. We have a lot of different wine growing regions that we can use in blending and making better wines. Sauvignon Blanc is grown predominantly on the cooler sides of hills and cooler sites closer to the ocean. But, luckily we have a very, very long coastline. So there is Sauvignon Blanc planted, up the west coast of Koekenaap down to Darling and Durbanville, Constantia, where the first plantings of Sauvignon Blanc in South Africa were, which is a historic part of our wine growing tradition in South Africa. Stellenbosch, and then you go all around the south coast, where you go to Elim and Elgin and Hermanus and all those wonderful places, and every area has got a unique style and unique wine that they produce, and we really are making some of the best wines in the world. And I'm very fortunate to be sitting here in France, and we are on a trip promoting some of our wines, and also learning with some of our partners. And I promise you, we have nothing to worry about. We have we can run with the big dogs when it comes to wine, and specifically with Sauvignon Blanc.
Well, it's definitely comforting, RJ, but perhaps let's use this as also an educational moment. How then do you differentiate Sauvignon Blanc, for example, from a Merlot? Is it with the type of grape that we use? Maybe take us through the defining elements of a Sauvignon Blanc.
So, a vineyard is a absolute wonderful thing, and so all these different grape varieties, you know, they grow differently. They all have their own sort of way of doing things, and almost like we do as well. So, you know, if you look at Sauvignon Blanc compared to other cultivars, the first thing that we do is there's already different clones, and just of Sauvignon Blanc that you can choose from to plant, and but in essence, Sauvignon Blanc is a white grape variety, but when cultivars are next to each other, you can actually differentiate them from their leaves. So all the leaves look different. So how the veins run and how they look. So you can already see them from there. But then also how the bunches look, the color of them, how they taste, etc., etc. Now, Sauvignon Blanc is also known as the green cultivar. They've got almost these luminous green bunches when they grow. It grows very, very vegetative. So we've usually got a lot of leaves and a lot of shoots running up, and it is probably one of the most amazing adventures when you're walking into a vineyard and tasting these grapes when they are close to ripe, and when we as winemakers decide when to harvest them. You know, the wonderful flavors of ripe fig and sometimes even a little bit of asparagus and fruit flavors that you get already in the grape. You know, all these wonderful flavors that we get in wine is directly from the grape itself and from the juice. We are not allowed to add anything or add any flavors. You know, so it is natural. It comes from the grape itself, and you can already taste it in the grape before you actually harvest and try and convert those wonderful berries into juice and then into wine in the winery.
RJ, unfortunately time is against us, but we could talk about this forever, for the whole day. But all the best, firstly, with the 2023 Concours Mondial du Sauvignon Blanc, and all the best with your trip out there. Hopefully the French do get to understand that we, as South Africans, do not fear them where wine is concerned. But thank you for your time here on the South African Morning. That is RJ Botha from the Sauvignon Blanc, South Africa.